Winning.
Pick.
Weekly.
Smith for the win.
Raisi K.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Happy Friday. Welcome to week 11. Oh, no, week 11 of the college football slate. We are rounding about to the conference championship games. Couple weeks left. Huge games for me personally because of my conference futures. Huge games for, I don't know, the state of college football with Michigan playing Penn State. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And honestly, huge games for conferences that nobody cares about. Like, I'm living and dying by every Western Kentucky snap here. So, we got it all today. What's up, guys?
I think you're the first person to ever say I'm living and dying by every Western Kentucky snap.
Here we are, man. Here we are.
Yeah.
And this is the end of basically all those weird bets that I was taking, over the summer, right before fall. And I was so excited about college football to start. I just wanted to, have a piece of every game, from the get-go. And they're finally, they're finally coming to reap. All the Boise State stuff is in the trash, right? But the Georgia Southern ones, the Western Kentucky ones, of course, the Liberty bets, all alive. Florida State alive. They've been helping me out. Alabama sneaky alive. we'll see what happens there. LSU's dead. I mean, Oregon alive everywhere. My Bo Nix Heisman just ready to explode. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for these last couple weeks. But as always, Chip, there's the Friday night slate. I know you got something going here. Not sure which game it would be though. You got a little AAC action, North Texas SMU, and honestly, Wyoming UNLV in the Mountain West, and both those teams have been pretty fun to watch this year. You guys got anything going on Friday night? Chip, I'll start with you.
Yeah, North Texas plus 19.5. All of the money was on SMU, and North Texas has a pretty decent record as an away underdog. And actually, they have a really good record in the conference. They're 17-5 against the spread in their last 22 conference games. So they take care of business in the conference. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, SMU is getting a lot of publicity right now. I don't know. I'm betting well this week during the week games. I'm 5-3 so far during the week.
All right.
Which typically I do
action.
better. Yeah, a lot of action. I haven't been doing well like the past few weeks, and part of that is because I haven't been doing well during the weekday games that I always bet. So when I'm doing better during the week, I typically finish out with a stronger Saturday. So I want to go into Saturday with another win. And I like the 19.5. I like the big number.
I mean, I like that. One of my stupid bets for the AAC, besides Tulane, I had Tulane everywhere, but I was scared, and I would take UTSA. UTSA sucked in the beginning of the year, but now look at them. They can make the conference championship. Just one SMU slip up. So I'm with you there, man. I'm not going to take it, but I'm rocking with North Texas, watching that in the corner of my eye. Greg, you have anything on this game? Or are you taking the Wyoming UNLV?
No, I'm jumping on the North Texas train. I'll ride that with Chip. I was thinking about UNLV, but they've got a lot of publicity the last few weeks about them being great against the spread. And Wyoming's one of those teams I just can't get a read on this season. So I feel like when I go up against Wyoming, they absolutely dominate. When I bet on Wyoming, they absolutely lay an egg. So I'm staying away from that game. But I'll hop on North Texas plus 19.5. Like, to Chip's point, that's a lot of points. Haven't been too impressed with SMU this season. Haven't watched a lot of North Texas, but Saturday 9:00, if I'm flipping through channels, I'll throw North Texas for a little bit. Friday. Yeah.
I mean, you I think you're just upset about that Wyoming Boise State game because I know you've been hating Boise State. You bet against Boise State. You took Wyoming, and it was right off the Air Force game, and that's why you're mad at them.
Air Force. Oh my god.
Yeah. I know. I had Wyoming versus Air Force. That miraculously covered by the hook. I had them again against Colorado State last week, and I'm riding them again. And I love that everyone loves UNLV. Actually, that's part of it here. Wyoming's been sneaky good. 5-3-1 against the spread this year. I'm gonna ride Wyoming. They every game that I take them, they don't hurt me to watch. Thankfully, I stayed away from the Boise State Wyoming game because I just can't stand Boise State. So I just stay away because they killed me earlier in the season. So I just stay away. But that's funny, Greg. That's your reasoning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Wyoming here, and let's start Saturday noon. Insane games. The games are so insane that I'm mad that they're at 12. Like that's how good the slate is. So, Greg, why don't you start us off here? Noon slate. What do you got going, man?
Sure. I mean, two teams that we've talked about a lot this season that, one team I've absolutely loved to bet on, one team that I just haven't been able to get a good read on. I feel like they're up and down with the spread. Can't really get it together when you need them to, but then when you're not watching, they're beating teams that they shouldn't beat.
Uh-oh.
This team that I love to bet all season. I'm rocking with them again. Noon, Big Ten football. Give me Maryland on the road, -1.5 at Nebraska.
Oh,
I'm going back to the Terps. I hate Nebraska. After last week's loss to Michigan State, they're dead to me. And I'm kicking off with I love this game. I love the red on red. I love Maryland. I hate Nebraska. To me, I was thinking about making this a best bet, but I got another best bet in this noon slate here.
Nebraska is dead to me too, for sure. After last week, that was one of the most embarrassing losses.
Disgusting.
You lose to Michigan State. Matt Rule's the greatest coach of all time. He lost to a team that doesn't have a coach. Like that was an embarrassing loss.
Yep.
You lose to Michigan State like that. I agree. There's no way I'm taking Nebraska in this game. I watched what's Barstool's. I can't think of their college football show. Pick'em. I watched that this morning, and Portnoy took Nebraska. And even when he took Nebraska, he was not confident at all in it. Okay. And I was like, yeah, there can't be any confidence behind Nebraska right now. And I hate Maryland. And even I was thinking about taking Maryland. But in this game, I'm taking the over.
Oh, I like that. 43.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm staying away from that game personally. All right.
I get that.
Those both teams is gross. All right. But DJ, whatever. It's gonna be a fun game, but I'll just want to turn to it, check out the score once in a while. But I'm gonna take a game where you're not even gonna find on TV. This is my first game of the day. You're gonna have to have ESPN Plus for this. Thankfully, I have it. Disgusting game. One of these teams, I only watch out of spite. One of these teams I watch because I bet the spread on every week, and I'm taking USF at home against Temple. It jumped up to -7.5. Listen, the Temple Owls are absolutely horrific. I can't say that enough. I had to watch them when I versus SMU. You guys talking about North Texas? North Texas beat Temple 45-14. Spread was 9.5. I mean, you guys making fun of UTSA? UTSA smacked Temple. Every team smacks Temple. What's there against the spread? 1-7-1. They are 16% against the spread.
Oh my god.
I'm going with the USF. Take me to I hate that I got the hook now at 7.5, but I'm just riding with South Florida, especially after I was so right with them after Memphis. Like I feel like I was like really hard about that game because Memphis stinks. I was really hard about USF and them covering. So I'm riding back with Florida. I thought it was gonna be like 10.5. I have it at 7 if I'm being honest, but for us, I'll take it at 7.5.
Yeah, I like that too. I'll tag that onto my card.
Yeah, I'll take that too.
Temple stinks. This is just a Temple stinks card. All right. Chip.
Okay, so we haven't talked about Michigan Penn State yet. I don't know.
I'm trying to avoid it as much as I can.
Yeah. You guys aren't taking that game?
Oh no, Penn State money line, spread, every which way you can get it.
Okay. Well, we're against each other on this one because I got Michigan -4.
Here's the thing, Chip. I have Michigan everywhere with my conference bets because they were plus money all year. All of a sudden, they finally changed to be minus money, and then all of a sudden, there's a controversy. So I'm just like staying away. I'm officially staying away from Michigan. I have all my money in on Michigan. I have one parlay with Penn State winning the conference, so I'm okay with it. Like it could live. I think I have Penn State and Washington in my like one weird conference bet that they're together. No problem. I personally think if this game was at night, Penn State would win this game by 2 touchdowns. I know that
Oh my
sounds
God.
crazy because Michigan doesn't let out points. Penn State sucks whenever it's a big game. I get it. But at home, Penn State just scares me. So the fact that it's at 12, I don't know. What's this weird thing? Is Harbaugh getting on a plane? Is he not getting on a plane? Is that like a real thing?
I don't know.
Harbaugh's attorney told Thamel he expects Harbaugh to get on a plane or something because there's rumors about a 3-game suspension now for Harbaugh. I don't know. I don't see him.
You got Michigan, Chip.
I got Michigan. Thinking about leaning the over, but definitely Michigan 4.5. I got Michigan to win the national championship is my biggest over and my biggest future right now. So
Oregon, Michigan, straight up. What do you think that spread is?
On a neutral field.
Yeah, if they play each other like first round, forget the championship.
Michigan's favored. Small favorite.
I honestly think Oregon will win that game. But I think Michigan would be I think Michigan would be any SEC team. Maybe not Bama. Like I think they would be Georgia. I think Michigan would be Georgia. But I don't know. Bama, Michigan would be a great game. Right now, I think I would take Oregon over all these teams. Am I crazy to say that? I know they have to beat Washington.
No, they look amazing right now.
No.
And my question is,
it's weird.
They're only lost
better than Washington since Washington beat them.
It's true.
Okay, my question is though, if Washington loses, do they still deserve a playoff spot? Because the only team they would lose to is the team that's maybe the best in the nation.
It's tough.
And they beat them once already. You know what I mean? So how can a one-loss Florida State get in over a one-loss Washington if they lose?
Florida State can't get in over Washington. No.
Okay. Wow. Hot take.
No.
So what about Ohio State? Ohio State, 1 loss, coming in over Washington with 1 loss over Oregon, who's in the playoff, but Ohio State will presumably lose to Michigan, who's in the playoff. Again, depends on this game that we're talking about. Well, let's just, sorry, Greg. I know you got Penn State.
Washington hasn't lost though. We're all talking about who Washington loses to. It all depends on who teams lose.
It's gonna be Oregon.
Also,
it's gonna work. Washington's gonna lose to Oregon. That's what I'm saying.
So in the rematch, they lose to Oregon.
Yeah,
but they still have the win over Oregon.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Both teams get in then. In that case,
so then Ohio State and Michigan can both get in.
They both had their shot last year. They're not going to both get in again.
I mean,
it's not going to be 2 Pac-12 teams and 2 Big Ten teams.
So are Alabama and Georgia going to
get in? Georgia's going to get in when they win the SEC. Georgia's going to get in.
Okay, what if Georgia
loses? There's not going to be a
playoff
playoff without an SEC team.
Okay, what if Georgia loses the SEC championship to Alabama? I know we're a little off the rails here. What if Georgia loses the SEC championship to Alabama? Who's in?
Georgia and Alabama both get in.
And Oregon. Yeah, I'm saying Oregon beats Washington. So then who gets in? Florida State or Washington with that last spot?
If Florida State's undefeated, you put them in over a 1-loss Pac-12 team.
No, they have 1 loss.
I honestly think Florida State needs to run the table to get in.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And Ohio, and you got to take 2 Big 12s. Okay, that clears that up. All right.
Yeah.
That was talking Michigan, Penn State.
Yeah, that's football, baby.
All right. Greg, back to you.
Honestly, playoff is more interesting than Michigan, Penn State because Penn State's not going to win, and Penn State's out of the playoff discussion because they're not going to win that game. But I mean, if Penn State beats Michigan, that throws a monkey wrench into the entire season.
Yeah, that's why this game is more important than the playoff because this one game sets a chain reaction into 10 programs. 10 teams, everything's going to change their whole life if Penn State wins this game. Like in the playoff, nothing changes. Just who.
That's why I don't get the argument for the anti-expanding the playoff. A game like this would mean even more if you expanded the playoff.
I disagree. I think it would mean just about the same because Penn State will be fighting for a spot regardless. So Penn State loses this game.
You just move the goalpost. That's all you're doing. It's like instead of us talking about the top 4 teams, we're just going to be talking about the top, who's on the cusp at the 13th, 12th, and 11th spots instead of talking about who's on the cusp of the 4, 5, and spots.
We'd be fighting about Penn State, Utah right now. Like I agree. That's exactly where.
But
Penn
other
State,
games would mean more.
Can Alabama get in
against
with 2
Missouri?
losses?
Like Tennessee against Missouri would be fighting for playoff spots right now.
Yes, that game would matter.
Instead of fighting for a bowl game that me and you really don't care about, but the program does for money reasons, and even the players don't care about because they might opt out if they get certain bowls. Now they can't opt out. It's like, oh, we're in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
not like the All-State Bowl or whatever. This is like this is a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, give me a noon.
Kansas -3.5, -4 against Texas Tech. I think it's going to be high scoring. I've liked Kansas all season. Kansas and Kentucky have been riding with them. I believe they were good to me last week. Last week I started out. I was traveling, so I didn't get to watch like a ton of football. But I was not good to start the day. And then in that later half, like since the Oregon game, I think that was like I don't know if that was a 3:00 kickoff or that was a 4:00 kickoff. But that point on, I was lights out. Part of that was because of Kansas and Kentucky. I won both those bets last week. I'm going back to the well with them. Kansas -3.5 at home against Texas Tech. I've hated Texas Tech all season long this year. I love Kansas all season long. A lot of money on Texas Tech. I'm not sure exactly why. So yeah, give me Kansas at home -3.5.
I actually like that. I'm tailing that.
Yeah, me too.
It's
No
a weird
respect for
number.
Kansas still. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
They just beat Oklahoma. I guess people no respect for Oklahoma or something. Like you said, all this money on Texas Tech. I don't get it. It's like people are still looking at Kansas like it's a basketball school.
Yeah,
And
and
Texas Tech is a football school.
Yeah, and right now 99% of the money's to the over 62. So it's gonna people are just thinking it's gonna be high scoring. I don't see Texas Tech scoring 40 points. So I think Kansas can do it. My last noon game here, John, is a tough one because I was just talking about Kansas and Kentucky being my go-to guys all season. And then Kentucky is in an absolute battle here with Alabama at noon. I like the over. I like the over 46.5, 47. 95% of the money's on the under right now. I just feel like when the odds get that crazy, like there's an opportunity there to do something here. I don't know. I think Alabama's been scoring the ball pretty good. Kentucky, same thing. I get it's an SEC game. It's going to be tight. It's a noon game. But I don't know. I just think Alabama's been able to get the deep ball going. Milroe's been able to run the ball a little bit more. And Kentucky's offense, I think, is pretty good. Unless I'm missing something here. I feel like they've been able to score the ball pretty well this season. So give me the over in that game. Over 47.
All right, I like that. I'm not going to touch that because I need Bama to win. I don't want to touch that because I think Kentucky could not score type deal. I just like Alabama. I think they could win games. I just don't know how they're going to do it at this point this year. I don't know if it's going to be for their defense. I don't know if it's going to be to their offense. I just know they're not going to lose anymore.
I hope so. I got them a bunch of futures.
Yeah, they're going to be in the conference championship for sure. So we'll see how that goes. I'm scared to touch their spread.
Yeah.
Chip, what do you got
For Bama?
For Bama and your next game.
For Bama, I think Bama's found their groove. I was totally off about Bama. I think benching Milroe was the smartest thing. We doubted Saban like idiots, and benching Milroe was another genius Saban move. Turns out Milroe's a stud, and he's really good. I got Bama spread. I think it's 10.5 right now.
Yeah.
I'll take them. I think Kentucky's overrated again. So I got Bama on the road -10.5 in that one. And another noon game. I love Georgia Tech, man.
Okay.
+14.5 on the road. I know Clemson won last week, and we're all on Clemson again, and Dabo's talking shit and whatever. And
Yeah.
You guys didn't believe last week. You guys told me Clemson the worst team in the conference.
I didn't go that far. Just said it. Look, part of it was betting with my heart, hoping that Clemson was finally dead. I just want Dabo to be dead,
Clemson's back,
have to
baby.
retire at the end of the season.
Clemson's back,
gone,
baby.
Finally. Georgia Tech 8-2 in their last 10 games as a road dog. Love Georgia Tech here. Georgia Tech, for whatever reason, they play better on the road than they do at home. They had the win against North Carolina on the road. They covered against the U on the road. They got spanked last week. I forget who it was, but it was a home game. So I like them on the road here, +14.5. Cool number. I'll take that one, Georgia Tech.
All right, I like that. I'm taking JMU here. First quarter, first half, full game versus UConn. I don't understand. Sorry for the hiccups. I don't understand that the money, there's a huge surge on UConn. Yes, they cover the spread sometimes, but they have one win this year. Not great. They stink and they don't cover spreads when it's 30 plus. That happened twice to them this year, and they got boat raced both times. Sorry, I think they're gonna get boat raced again. And I listen. I'll be honest. I've been falling into this trap with taking first quarter, first half of big spreads, and it doesn't happen because I'm scared of the big spread. But and they usually never hit. But when I'm not scared to take the big spread, and I take it like usually against the Giants, like first quarter, first half, full game, it hits. This game, I'm not afraid. I'm taking 6.5 James Madison first quarter, 13.5 first half, 24.5 full game. I think they're going to literally dominate them from beginning to end. And for James Madison, they don't have the bowl games. They don't have anything to look forward to. They're not allowed. So this is it for them. Like, this is their championship. Like, we make fun of like the Knicks, make fun of the Jets, right, for like playing regular season games, and the Raiders, right, for winning a regular season game and smoking a cigar. Like, this is it for them. Like, they need to win by 50, like, just so they could, start pressing more, maybe get their names higher in the rankings. But I think they're trying to change the rule, right, whether or not they're bowl eligible or not. So I honestly, I think they're going to win by 50. I don't understand why there's quote unquote sharp money coming in right now on UConn. So I'm going to take the bait. Don't care. All over James Madison.
I like that.
All right, get us into the afternoon, guys. What do you guys got?
I like Rutgers against Iowa. Staring at the over under 28.5, but I'll go with Rutgers plus 1.5.
Lowest ever.
Yeah, lowest
ever.
After last week's lowest ever. Like, Iowa
literally
they just keep it going week after week. Lowest ever.
Because it was under by a lot. It wasn't even close.
No, yeah, there was I think one
touchdown. It was 0-0 at half. And then it was 10-7?
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I like Rutgers here. I think Rutgers has a little bit more offensive firepower than Northwestern. On the road.
Not that much more, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they played earlier in the season, and it was a little close at times for sure. And I think Northwestern's kind of gotten their feet under them a little bit more after the crazy start to the season, losing their coach. So, yeah, I just think if it's going to be this low scoring, I know it's only 1.5 points, but I just like Rutgers here in this spot. I just can't do the over under 28. It's just too crazy for me. So I want to be watching the game. I'm going to be, keeping track of it. Give me Rutgers in this one, plus the 1.5.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping track of that one too. And I'm also going to be taking the under, and I'm going to be taking Rutgers too. I think, I posted about the under that it's the lowest ever on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I'm taking the under in that one. I think it's going to be way under for sure. Rutgers quarterback is brutal. And Iowa has brutal quarterback situations, but man, he can't throw. So They have a really good running game, though. I think it's going to be ugly. Could be a repeat situation of the Northwestern game last week with Iowa. I also like Rutgers to win. I think they'll win.
That would really shake things up in the Big Ten West. I mean, Iowa could win it right now somehow, some way.
Yeah,
Rutgers could be ranked if they beat Iowa. I mean, Iowa's ranked 22nd right now, so Rutgers could be ranked.
And Wisconsin's going to win the Big Ten West again in the championship game.
Wisconsin's going to win the Big Ten West. We've talked all year on this podcast about how bad Wisconsin's looked. They could end up winning the Big Ten West.
And Iowa, you've been talking about bad Iowas too.
Yeah.
Like, we're about to fire their coach because we're counting points, and they still might make the conference championship. Like, I don't know.
How bad a coordinator do you have to be to get fired when your dad is the head coach? You got to be really bad.
Tough.
It's tough. Yeah. All right. I'm going with this game, boys. This is a tough one for me. All right. This team is 5-3-1 against the spread. I'm personally 8-0-1 against the spread with this team. I've been correct every single game. But this spread, guys, this spread is weird. And it's versus a weird team. All right. We got the Colorado Buffs at home. It opened at 9.5, plus 9.5, or minus 9.5 for Arizona. Arizona's been frisky.
Mm-hmm.
That got hit really hard, right? I think that was a good number. Like, I was scared of Colorado plus 9.5. Did not like that. Did not look good to me. But now it's Colorado 10.5, and everybody's still on Arizona. I feel like Arizona's going to win this game by 10. I know that sounds insane, but I like Colorado at 10.5. If you got it at 9.5, I think that's a sharp play. I don't think that's bad, but I love Colorado at 10.5. Does that mean Colorado's going to win by 10? I guess my math, like, I guess that's what it means. But I like Colorado in this game. I'm taking them. I'm not super confident about it for the first time all year. I'm not confident about which way to take this game. But 10.5, I'm taking Colorado. It's too much. That's too much for Arizona. They're frisky, Arizona, but Arizona feels like the team that just plays to their opponent. Like, yes, they're frisky, but they're only frisky because they play good teams, and when they play bad teams, they're bad. Give me Colorado 10.5.
I like that. I'm staying away from Colorado because I just can't get a read on Arizona, but I like it. You've been great with Colorado all season, so.
Well, I'm worried about this one. This one.
Yeah, that worries me a little bit, but team that I've come around on, John, here for this 3:00 window, and has been doing me righteous the last few weeks. I hope they keep it going. Oak State on the road at UCF. Oak State minus 2.5 is going to be my second best bet of the day. I just think the offense has found a groove. I think the team has found a groove. I think they're playing very well. UCF has not impressed me at all this season. And Oklahoma State, now ranked 7-2 on the year, been able to, got a big win against Oklahoma, obviously last week in the last rivalry game there for a while. But before that game, I mean, they were able to score 27 on Oklahoma, but before that, they were putting up 40 points a game. I think they get back to that, high water mark, 40, 45 points against UCF here. UCF, I feel like their defense hasn't been anything spectacular this season. They're coming off, going 1-4 the last 5 games with a win against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is not very good, and they barely won that game 28-26. So I like Oklahoma State here on the road to take down the UCF Knights.
All right. Chip. All right. Chip's mic not working at the second. I'll go real quick with my 2 heart plays.
Okay.
I mean, I need these games. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Okay.
I need these games, and I like that the public is against both of them.
Ooh.
First one is for the conference championship. It's New Mexico State for Western Kentucky. Both of them, they're fighting and clawing for the spot right now. Everybody, 89% is of the money's on New Mexico. 82% of the bets. It's still minus. It went from minus 5.5 Western Kentucky to minus 4.5 Western Kentucky. I'm taking Western Kentucky minus 4.5. Makes no sense. Like, they're worse in the standings. Everybody's on the other team. Like, the minus 4.5 doesn't make much sense, which is I love it, right? But it is a heart pick. I'm being honest. And my other one, it kind of scares me. Coastal Carolina opened at home on the teal field, which they've been driving me nuts on that stupid teal field this year. At minus 1.5. All the money's on Texas State, and now it's plus 2.5. Coastal at home. Doesn't feel good, but I have to ride it. I'm taking it plus 2.5. Coastal minus 4.5. Western Kentucky. It all comes down to this, boys. Two of my biggest games. And then we got Fresno State at night. We'll get to that later. I need these 2, baby. I need them.
It's too funny.
I really do. You have no idea.
I've been
watching Western Kentucky all year. I've been mapping it out. And I'm hand up. I did not know. I realized that Jacksonville State was a new team. I did not know they're also not bowl eligible. So I basically they're digital tickets, thank God. But I ripped up the tickets with anything with Western Kentucky or anything because I thought it was over. Like, I know there's no way because Jacksonville State is right there. I know JMU's out, but Jacksonville State's there. But no, they're out too. So it's
Still
the 3rd and the 4th place team are about to be the conference games, and I can't wait, dude. Please.
Wait, so Jacksonville State can't win the conference then?
No, that's what I'm taking the game. That's all,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I'm like, looking at the standings all year, like, oh, this stupid team. Like, I never even heard of them. They're killing me all year. Thank God for that stupid rule.
Yeah, working out.
JMU's trying to overturn it again. They appealed
That's what I'm
to
saying. Dude,
Yeah.
that's why they're going to win by 30 this week, dude. They're going to beat UConn by 30. Be like, all right, guys, seriously, we still can't play we can't play the Pinstripe Bowl. Like we really
Yeah,
can't.
crazy.
Something.
Imagine they go 12-0 and they don't let them in a bowl game. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, it is nuts. All right,
Then-
Chip. Give us
3:30.
afternoon games, baby. Give us some good afternoon games. Don't give us some Iowa, Rutgers nonsense. It's gonna be 3-3. Give me
You
some.
guys
Give me
brought
a
up.
good
You
game.
guys brought up Iowa and Rutgers. I wasn't even gonna bring it up. Well, I was gonna bring it up, but I mean, Missouri against Tennessee. I
Okay.
think Missouri's gonna win the game outright. They're underdogs at home. I think they looked a lot better than people are saying they looked against Georgia last week. They could have won that game. Refs didn't do them any favors in that one. I'm not going to blame the refs, but a couple calls didn't go their way. Quarterback definitely made some mistakes at the end of the game. Georgia's just better than them, but Tennessee's not Georgia. And they're playing at home. They also played great against USC. They could score a lot of points. Tennessee's defense is not Georgia's defense. I think they can score. I think they're going to win the game. So I'm taking Missouri money line against Tennessee.
I like that, actually. I'm not going to watch that game, but I'm rooting for you. Like,
Mhm.
I'll scoreboard watch. I'm scared of Tennessee, man. I cannot figure them out at all. Basically, if you ask me to bet on Tennessee, I'll guarantee to get it wrong. That's basically how it's been working for me. So I'm just staying away from Tennessee. Don't care. As soon as I was betting on their quarterback, he sucked. All of a sudden, he starts being good. Once I start fading them, and now he's good again. I can't. And I have no interest in them. I'm just trying to win money on Tennessee, but I can't. So I'm just staying away.
I have interest in Missouri. One of my best friends is a Tennessee fan, so I do technically want to see them do well, but I just don't think they're.
But
I think
Chip,
they're being
really,
a little overhyped right now.
Chip, I mean, this is like a personal thing, so probably nobody really cares, but it really went from me like praising this quarterback. I loved him. He was my GOAT, and now I can't stand him. I hate
Are
him.
you talking about Joe Milton?
No, I'm talking about Peyton Manning. I hate Tennessee because of him. I can't I used to love Peyton Manning. He was my favorite quarterback, like especially while he was playing. Number one, better than Brady, everything. Nobody does it like him. Coming out with a broken neck, still plays. I can't stand him. Gave us Gase, right?
Because of Gase.
And now he's coming out and he's making jokes every award show he gets, trying to make jokes about the Jets. And this is coming from the guy who's like sexually assaulting his trainer, right? He's mooning him and making him kiss his ass and stuff. Like, let's take it easy, Peyton Manning.
Oh,
Get
right.
off my television on Monday Night Football. Stop making jokes about the Jets. I hope Tennessee doesn't win anything. Like, that's how I feel about Tennessee, and it's all because of Peyton Manning. Honestly, I hope Archie Manning sucks at Texas. Like, I don't care anymore about that. Get them off my television. That's my official take about Peyton Manning. After that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Like the Country Music Awards, bro. Like, just get out of my face, dude. Just stop. You're on every television.
Awards. What?
That's too much. That's where he gave the dot. Him and Mr. Bryan, or the Luke Bryan.
One of the Bryans. I don't know. I'm not into the country music stuff. But yeah. I'm taking shots for no reason. Speaking of taking shots
Ted Lasso,
for no
bro.
reason.
You're not Ted Lasso. It's not cute when you do it.
Yeah. Speaking of taking shots for no reason, I just don't think Utah's very good. And
that is a
I
shot
could
for
be
no reason.
wrong on that, but when they played Oregon, man, they got whooped by Oregon. And I think they're going to get whooped again by Washington this week. -8.5 at home. Washington is hosting Utah here, and it's a 3:30 game. It's not Utah at night. It's Washington in their home crowd, in their home environment. Yeah, I think Washington's going to absolutely kill Utah. So to get it under 10 points, I absolutely love it. 70% of the money's on Washington, so that makes me a little concerned. 50% of the money's on or 70% of the money's on the under 50. So people are thinking it's not going to be too high scoring. But I think Washington is going to manhandle Utah just like Oregon did a week or two ago. And yeah, give me Washington here as my last bet of the 3-3-3 slate here.
Greg, just coming off. I mean, you were the number one Utah guy here. And I'm starting to get back on Utah. They're so good, but they're really good at home. That's the issue. Yeah, I know. I'm staying away from this game. I'm taking. I'm honestly, I would lean 8.5, but I'm not taking this game.
It was weird seeing Utah get pounded like that. Like that doesn't happen to
be
them.
Clear, I plus 8.5. Plus 8.5. That's where I would lean.
Mm-hmm. I just don't see it happen in 2 games in a row. Them getting blown out. Yeah. But 8.5. That they lose by 9 or 10. That's not getting blown out. So I don't trust them enough after that Oregon game to take them either. I mean,
they were home. They were home against Oregon.
Yeah,
and now they're going on the road. Like, it's tough. They have Arizona next week and then Colorado. It's a tough end of the schedule for them.
Yeah, they don't have the firepower, man. They don't.
But yeah, and the defense just let me down. Like, I feel like with Utah, I'm expecting them to hold these teams under, keep it low scoring, and they pretty much have all season. But then you run up against Oregon, you let up 35. Offense does absolutely nothing. I think Washington is just as good as Oregon. So, yeah, to see it at 8.5, I love it.
All right, Chip. What else you got going?
3:30. I think I'm done at 3:30.
Yeah, me too. Bring us into the afternoon. Well, evening. I know Greg is staring at that Stanford Oregon State game.
Best bet.
All right, what do you got?
Stanford plus 20.5. I mean, Oregon's ranked. Don't get me, or Oregon State is ranked. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to put too much disrespect on them, but I mean, dude, Stanford the last 2 weeks outright win at Washington State, which I get Washington State's not very good, but you're on the road at Washington State, holding, keeping it close against Washington at home within 9 points, and it's a 20-point spread. Again, I think a 20-point spread on the road this time. It's a little bit concerning against the top, I guess they're ranked 12, so not a top 10 team, but a higher ranked team in Oregon State. I haven't seen too much stuff from Oregon State that makes me overly impressed this season.
What I've been saying, bro. You guys been getting at me every week.
They're just winning every week. They just win, but they beat Utah, which we talked about. Utah might not be as good as we thought. They won against UCLA, which is good, but again, nothing too crazy. They lost to Arizona 2 weeks ago, and then they barely beat Colorado last week. So, again, an afternoon with 5:30 p.m., kind of a weird time. So, give me Stanford here for sure. Plus 20 points, third and final best bet of the weekend.
Yeah, I'm rocking with that. I like Stanford too, and I've been fading Oregon State. 20.5 is insane.
It's just too many points.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'll take Stanford.
Let's go.
Oregon State's been kind of a disappointment.
Let's go. And don't get me wrong, I think Oregon State's going to win the game, but just 20.5 is just
yeah.
And it's crazy too. 82% of the money's on Oregon State. Like,
yeah.
And it happens every week, and Stanford just keeps chugging along.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. All right. I'm gonna go into it's more late night a little bit, but 2 again heart bets. Need it. Absolutely need it for my
I'll be right back, guys.
Sure.
For my futures. My futures need it. Absolutely need it. Georgia Southern minus 2.5 at Marshall. Again, I have everybody in the Sun Belt. It feels like, but this is the Sun Belt, right? Only one team can take it. James Madison can't. It's either Coastal or Georgia Southern, and Georgia State's creeping. Right, Georgia State's creep. I need Georgia State to lose. I even touched that game. Old Dominion, their favorite. I didn't even touch it. I'm all over the Sun Belt, bro. Sun Belt is my conference. The Sun Belt East. I need Coastal to go. I need Georgia Southern to go. I have futures with both of them, so it's gonna come down to a tiebreaker. But I just want both of them to be there. Don't pick one. It's equal for me. Just both keep winning games, keep getting there. So Georgia State does. If Georgia State cucks me and gets all the way to the top, I'm screwed.
Yeah,
I know Georgia State. All my exes live in Texas. Like I'm from Georgia State. No, we don't want Georgia State. We don't like them.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that. I feel like for this evening slate, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities here. A lot. God, I've been looking at Ohio State. I just can't pull the trigger on it because it's 32. But Michigan State on the road after a win last week against Nebraska, like, are they really going to be able to score 14 points? But then is Ohio State going to really score 40 points? Like Ohio State's offense has kind of been, I feel like, wishy-washy this season. And they've been really relying on their defense to keep them in games. But if you're going to cover 32 points, like your offense has to score. Your offense has to do something. And their schedule gets very tough, Ohio State, coming up here. I guess not. Next week's Minnesota, but then they obviously have Michigan and then the Big 12 champion or Big 10 championship. So I'm staying away. I just haven't seen the offense yet from Ohio State. Really thinking about it. Pick that I will be going with though here, John, is Georgia at home -11 against Ole Miss.
Let's talk about it. That's gonna be my hashtag I'm woke pick of the day, and it's gonna be for Ole Miss. Greg, all of a sudden, Greg, when Georgia is playing their worst, they have the bad game last week again, where we think they're gonna suck without Brock Bowers. They in fact do suck without Brock Bowers. Now we have Ole Miss, a ranked team, probably the best opponent they're going to play until the championship game. Probably the best opponent they played all year.
Yep.
All of a sudden, Greg, we have news that came out from months ago from Lane Kiffin with a mental health thing that now he should be fired. A controversy from nowhere on Friday or Thursday. Get out of here, dude. This is my I'm woke pick of the week. I'm taking Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is going to win straight up. This is the last minute tactic by Georgia boosters, by everyone saying no, Ole Miss cannot win this game. We can't have it. Like we can't have this. Like you guys want this guy to win? Like you know how bad of a guy Lane Kiffin is? Here's even more reason why Lane Kiffin's bad. Here, take this. Georgia stinks. 11.5 is insane. I'm taking Ole Miss and I'm taking a money line. I'm taking a money line because I think this is the week, man. They sucked with Brock. They were mediocre with Brock Bowers. They suck without Brock Bowers. They sucked last week. Ole Miss is ready, dude. I promise you, the news that came out, it really swayed me. Like just like weird audio recordings, like quote cards with misquotes on it, like cut off. Like I just did this with Wimby. We just did this, right? Like Wimby had a full quote. Oh, the garden is not as big as I thought, but I'm sure the vibes are going to get good. We cut that right off. I said the garden's not that big. And we started cursing that all game. We won by 30. Like, this is it, man. Ole Miss is going to win this game. That's my crazy brain. My woke pick of the day.
The amount of people who were talking about Lane Kiffin like he was a monster for like kicking a kid off the team. Like he was like freaking, like Joseph Stalin or something because he told a kid he couldn't play on his football team anymore. It was completely insane. Like the way that was going. And I'm not even a Lane Kiffin fan. And I know, look, it was crazy. And football coaches are dicks. Of course they are. Most college football coaches are assholes. But of all the things to get upset about that football coaches do, like Jesus Christ.
The guy didn't answer his phone call. He did not get kicked off because of mental health. He got kicked off because they asked him, all right, we know you're on mental health. Can you still come talk to us? He said no. And also, that kid's still on scholarship. Ole Miss never even pulled a scholarship. So that guy doesn't play football and goes to school for free.
He's going to school for free. Yeah.
I mean,
it's hard to get. It's hard to feel too bad for a guy. Bro. Yeah. It's hard to feel too bad for a guy who's going to school for free when I'm still paying student loans, by the way. So, it's hard to feel too bad for the guy.
Lane Kiffin. Plus 10.5, Greg. Well, we're against you here, buddy.
That's fine. That's exactly what
You're taking Georgia?
Georgia for sure. It's Georgia and Alabama are those teams where everyone's like, they're not playing well, they're not this, they're not that, and then they just come back and kill Florida by 15, beat Missouri.
Florida's not.
Crush Kentucky, who was having a great season. They're going to do it to Ole Miss too. I don't care that they're ranked 9th. That doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
They're going to win this game by 20.
They also beat Ole Miss. They also beat LSU, Ole Miss. But
true.
I like the over in this one. I think there's going to be a lot of points. This would be like the signature moment of Lane Kiffin's career. Like this is the win he's never had. This would be finally getting that win that, everyone calls him like an offensive genius and people laugh about it. This would be the win that if he finally had it, it would make him, legitimate.
It's coming. Because Georgia's not legit, and that's going to be the next question.
Ole Miss is going to say things like that, and I'm like,
listen, Ole Miss is going to beat Georgia, and then you know what the talk is going to be? Was Georgia even that good? That's literally the next question. It's gonna be
No, the next question is going to be Ole Miss. I don't know how it works in the SEC, but I don't know if Ole Miss can play Alabama in the SEC championship. But that's going to be the next conversation: is Lane Kiffin versus Bama.
Yeah,
See, that's what I was saying about Bama early in the year.
And Penn State beats Michigan. Now we're talking which one game loss means less.
Yeah,
right?
One of my favorite conversations to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I love
Speaking
that
of-
at the end of the college basketball season. I love that when we're talking seeds and everything. Who has the worst loss? And we're always talking about Rutgers basketball with that one.
Who has the best loss? That's my favorite.
Yeah, the best loss.
Who's the best loss?
Rutgers' loss is worse than their loss. That's why they didn't get in. Like,
it's all because of the date on the calendar. Like, dude,
Yeah.
that was in January. Oh, this was in November. Oh, okay.
Duke plays Arizona. Duke plays Arizona tonight. I'm gonna get hyped and watch it. But in March, it's like game means absolutely nothing. It means nothing.
Speaking of games that don't mean anything, I feel like it's not right to finish a football season without at least betting and watching some Texas A&M football.
Oh,
And I haven't done it all season.
Jeez.
I'm doing it. Texas A&M minus 18, which is disgusting to say out loud. I don't think Texas A&M is very good, but I think Mississippi State is just that bad. Mississippi State on the road at Texas A&M. Give me Texas A&M minus 18.5. I really haven't watched either of these teams a ton this season. I watched someone
A&M game last week. It's 16.5 now, by the way.
16.5?
They suck.
Perfect. I watched a little bit of Kentucky against Mississippi State, but other than that, I haven't watched too much. So minus 16.5, I'll take that. Yeah, that's gonna be it for the 7:00 games for me.
All right. I only got 2 more games here, so let me just jump them off. Right. I got a night game. No questions asked. Fresno State. We need Fresno State. There's no question. That's my last heart pick. Need them. Have them everywhere. Need Fresno State to go to the conference championship. So I got Fresno. But here's my sharp play of the week. All right. Here's my sharp play, and it's back in the AAC. All right. Another one of those teams. Another one of those acronyms where I had going far and they sucked in the beginning of the year. I got made fun of on this show, but now they're back and they actually have a chance here. And it's UTSA. They sucked all year. We even got them confused with UTEP. That's how bad they were. Yep. All right. UTSA versus Rice. We all been making fun of Rice all year. Let's get some fun facts here. UTSA against the spread 3-5-1, 39%. Rice against the spread 7-2. 78%. Rice going up against UTSA this week. I think UTSA is going to win, but 14.5. I mean, this is the best bet of the day. This is actually my best bet of the day. This is my sharpest play of the day. It's Rice plus 14.5. It's the best bet. They don't. How can you give them that hook? They might beat them straight up. This one makes no sense to me. I love Rice plus 14.5. Best freaking bet of the day. Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Love it.
Of course. Fresno, that's a hard pick, though.
Rice best bet?
Rice best bet 14.5, baby.
In your back pocket trip when he starts making fun of you best betting Akron. Just remember, like, oh yeah, remember week 11 when you made Rice your best bet of the weekend?
Rice, best bet, baby. 14.5.
Even I'm done with Akron. They got shut out against freaking Kent State. My God.
$8 million bet team. That was crazy.
Oh my God. Even I quote tweeted out, I was like, what maniac bet $1 million on Kent State? If I had that kind of money, even I wouldn't go that crazy.
Yeah.
God, that was craziness. Maction, man.
Yeah, Chip, you got any more 7 o'clock games, 8 o'clock?
Any games for the rest of the night? You guys got any games for the rest of the night?
Did you guys talk about Sparty against the Buckeyes?
I was saying that I want to bet it so bad, but I just can't pull the trigger on it because of Ohio State's offense. I just don't think
Ohio State never covers those big numbers.
Yeah.
Never.
So are you going Michigan State in that one?
Yes, I am. Plus 31.5.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I thought you were going to say the under maybe or something like that. Go Michigan State plus 31.5.
I am. What about LSU, Florida? I
Nope,
feel like
didn't
just
talk
taking
about
LSU I feel like just taking LSU minus 14.5 because Florida's so fucking bad.
Yeah, Florida's one of those spite picks for me. I think I was talking, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but I was saying like, oh, I haven't watched Florida. You guys watch Florida. How are they? Yeah, it was last week. You guys are like, oh yeah, Florida's pretty good. Blah blah. Florida sucks, dude. They're terrible.
Billy Napier is such a bad coach, and it's going to be one of those things where his recruiting class saves him, and I hate that. But he's awful. He's off. It's crazy how that's a true sign of like a bad coach when they look good one week and then they regress the next week. Like every week we're like, oh, look, Florida's turning around, and then they look like shit again.
Yeah, I mean they let up 39 points to Arkansas last week and lost 39-36 to Arkansas.
They lost to Arkansas, dude. They lost to Arkansas. Dude,
it's crazy.
Arkansas is terrible. Arkansas was celebrating like they won the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, that's their first conference win of the season, Arkansas.
Yeah. Jesus.
Their other wins, they have 3 wins on the season. The other wins are Kent State and West Carolina.
And they're favored against Auburn, by the way. That's how bad Auburn's been too.
Jesus. So yeah, the only other I'm staying away from LSU because I just don't know what I feel about like LSU. 3 losses
and
on
Daniels
the season.
Is hurt,
like, I don't know,
right?
I don't know how much they have to play for. A couple injuries, 15 points, 14 points. It's a lot of points.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm staying
point.
away from that.
I'm staying away too. That's a good point.
Yeah. The other game I have late night, Oregon minus 15 against USC. I think Caleb Williams is done. The signed, seal, delivered. I think he might sit out the rest of the season. I know he's obviously going to play this game.
Is he done with the Heisman?
Done with the Heisman.
Even if he beats Oregon this week?
Yeah. He just hasn't been playing very good. Like his numbers, I get that his numbers are okay, but compared to last season, numbers aren't that crazy. And loss after loss after loss. There's another loss coming. I mean, if he wins against Oregon, it would be insane because especially like I said, they're 15-point favorites on the road, or 15-point underdogs on the road. Yeah, give me Oregon here. I think they're gonna absolutely kill USC. I think they're gonna win like 40-15. It's gonna be an ugly, ugly game.
All right. Chip, any last games?
Just the over in USC Oregon. I actually think USC is gonna score a little bit. I think Caleb's gonna have one more game left in him. And I do actually unfortunately agree with Greg. I think maybe he has one last game in him and then shuts it down for the rest of the season. Yeah. Kind of goes down with the ship, so to speak. But yeah, I think they score a lot of points there. I don't think I have anything else. I want to take Duke against North Carolina plus 14 because I love that number and I love Duke, but man, they look tough. I don't think I could take that. And Carolina already had their bad loss this year. They typically only have one. So
yeah,
I'm staying away from that.
Yeah, but if Louisville loses, then you would actually.
They almost did to Virginia last night.
That's what I'm saying.
Last night.
That's what I'm saying. Then if they end up slipping up somehow, then UNC can get back into that conference championship.
True.
They are still playing for something, while Duke really isn't.
Carolina is, yeah.
That's what I meant.
Duke.
What I say?
No. Yeah, Carolina is,
right. Yeah. All right, that wraps it up for me. Like I have heart plays in every single slate here that I absolutely need. I have sharp plays in every slate. The last one, I mean, Greg, and listen, you say I only gamble with my heart sometimes. Here's my brain pick. I might dabble in Arizona State plus 17 versus UCLA. UCLA doing the 2-quarterback system right now. 17 is a lot. I mean, I don't care that Arizona State has 2 wins. That's a lot. So we'll see about that. I might touch that late night. Maybe take Fresno State and extra some parlays depending on how the night went.
I like that.
If USC scores, I'm gonna hammer Oregon. I hope USC gets the ball, scores first. That would be fantastic.
Yeah,
that's like what I'm hoping for there. But that's it. Any last words, guys?
No, ready for another awesome week of football.
Yeah.
Done. Hit us up. Knicks coming, Jets coming, etc. period on the YouTube. That's our Winning Picks Weekly. Is Chip Murphy 7 puts out his bets every Saturday. We have at Winning P Weekly puts out the bets on Saturdays and Sundays. That's about it. Let us know what you got, and we out. Let's go Jets. I don't care if this is college. Yo, she actually UAlbany new arena hooked up Sefq for basketball. Let's go.
Let's go.